Hello, I'm making this video to explain the difference between booking an author at your school and booking a storyteller. I'm a professional storyteller. I've been telling stories for 30 years. And what do I mean by storytelling? Because it's a very loosely used term. Authors use it, filmmakers use it, all sorts of people use the term storyteller, musicians use it. What I mean is telling in the oral tradition that people have sat around campfires and told each other stories from the beginning of time. And I mean telling a story eye to eye, mind to mind, and heart to heart, a story that I know deeply and that I'm adjusting towards my audience. Storytelling is a very relational type of experience. So a good storyteller is not only able to choose the right story for the right audience, but also pitch it in the moment as they look out at the audience and respond if they see they're restless, if they see they're settled, where they see they can go faster or slower, and adjust the story to the audience, which is very intimate. And in a world of screens, it's really exceptionally important for students to have those experiences of communal listening. And to practice listening. So you're probably aware that storytelling is now a part of the Australian curriculum. So it's one of the boxes that you have to tick. And also oral literacy precedes written literacy. So students who struggle a little bit with written literacy will really benefit even more than the students who are confident with written literacy by being stimulated to tell stories and listen to stories and share stories and reflect on stories that are oral, because that will give them the confidence then that can translate, that understanding of story form can translate into their written expression. Storytelling, it builds empathy and knowledge creation. We are hardwired. Our brains are hardwired to receive information encoded in a story. So it's actually a very familiar experience. Once you settle in to a good story, there's something, this feels good, this feels familiar. And how is it different to booking an author? Well, an author is reading to you from the book that they have written, and that's what they are mediating. They are mediating between the written word and the students. And a good presenter, a good author, will be engaging and will be relational and responsive, but they're still working from the written page, which is set in its way. It can't be adapted and changed in the moment, and they're only working from their own work. Whereas a storyteller, I have original stories and I have traditional stories that I have rewoven, and particularly rewoven them for a modern audience. So storytelling is a great way of building community in the classroom and relationality. And we know that there's a lot of research to show how important a sense of relationality is to the quality of teaching and learning coming in a classroom. A class where they feel safe, where they feel connected, where they feel safe with their teacher is a good learning place. And storytelling can stimulate that and inspire you and your class to tell more stories after I've gone, as well as discussing the stories that you experienced. And storytelling is that experience of responsiveness and relationality, which is distinct from experiencing a written story, which is more of a private experience, a beautiful experience, but it's just distinctly different. So I have been teaching storytelling for 20 years. I have been telling stories for 30 years in schools and preschools and conferences and to all ages, from preschoolers right up to adults to elders. And I have been teaching stories for 20 years, teaching parents and librarians and teachers and children, and in conferences and workshops and in schools. And I've also taught in the tertiary setting for Southern Cross University, who has a dedicated storytelling unit in the School of Education. I'm also a disability support worker, so I have an understanding for the students who have different abilities. And I also have 5 award-winning storytelling CDs. So if you want to listen to the kind of storytelling that I do, you can listen via my website. And I also have a YouTube channel where you can take a look. You can go to my page on Speakers Inc. and see the testimonials and see if you want to book a storyteller. And I challenge you, if you ordinarily only book a storyteller for the little kids, for the stage 1 or stage 2, take a risk and book me for someone older, because I have great stories for every age. And with each age group, you can take a more sophisticated story and a more sophisticated question and discussion afterwards. But also, if you would prefer a workshop, as I said, I'm very experienced with teaching, so I can tailor make a performance with stories that fit what you are studying, or I can create a workshop, or I can create a workshop for your staff. I'm very experienced in doing that. So I really hope that I get to meet you and come and share stories with you. I also teach online if you want to do professional development privately online. So have a beautiful day.